If you're going networking and you're just getting yourself into a room and leaving there, you really missed the boat.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to pass out all these business cards to everybody here.
You're not coming here to sell yourself.
Yeah.
You're coming here to see what you can do for the next person, because once you do that, it comes back to you in abundance.
Help people and don't look for anything back. Just genuinely want to help people and you'll grow.
People do business with people that they like, know, and trust. I don't want to do business with you until I know you.
And you kind of get like hurt. Like, I thought you wanted to be my friend. You meet someone, you meet their representative, and then you break it down and you're like, oh my gosh, Kamil's a goofy, silly guy.
You're coming out with probably one of three things. You're coming out with a referral partner, a really good friend, or you're coming out with someone that you can really do business with.
Welcome everybody. I am Kamil Sarji, your host of Just 2 Minutes. And this is our first episode for 2026. And we have Deb here. Deb, you want to tell us about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Deb Honor. I am the Chief Strategic Relationship Officer at Women's Fund of Rhode Island. I build relationships. I am in charge of the sponsorship. I oversee the development committee and the Men's Ally Group, the PACT, Partners Advancing Change Together group, which is so fun. And I'm also the founder of Heart of Rhode Island in Rhode Island.
Awesome. Which is what I want to talk about today. But you do a lot of things and it's super exciting. And yeah, thank you for coming in.
Thanks so much for having me today. Super excited to be here.
All right. So are you ready for the Just 2 Minutes?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to start it in now. All right. So if you were in a cabin in the woods, 2 feet of snow, trapped there for 5 days, what movie would you pick? Not movie that, that you like, but movie that you pick that you can watch over and over, because that's the only movie you can watch for 5 days. What would it be?
And it can't be something I like?
It can.
Oh, The Notebook.
The Notebook?
Hands
you would
down.
watch that over and over and over and
And
over?
over and over and over and over again.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. What was an assumed occupation that someone thought you were that you weren't? An odd one.
Oh gosh, I don't think I was a music teacher. People always thought I was a teacher. But they thought I was in the classroom and I wasn't. I was in the music. So people always assumed me as a teacher.
Okay.
And that was interesting to see. They thought I was in middle school. Yeah.
Nice.
No.
Yeah, because you're very trusting. People can,
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. What is your favorite restaurant in Providence right now?
Kamil's.
Oh,
100%.
awesome name. Yeah. Yeah, it is cool.
I love that spot. They have the best pasta fagioli on the planet.
I heard my favorite meteorologist, Tony Petrarca, is there all the time.
So good. I haven't seen him. I'm going to be looking for him now.
What's your favorite candle scent?
Oh, I would have to say balsam fir.
Okay.
Just like the Christmas tree. I
Oh,
love
yeah,
that.
yeah. I
love
love
that smell.
Me too. What is an odd candle scent that you've, in your travels, come across?
And the oddest one is like sandalwood, a sandal something. It doesn't smell good.
All right, that was 2 minutes. Sandalwood? You don't like sandalwood?
It does. The one I've smelled was not good. That was 2 minutes. Is that all we get for real?
Yeah, that's it. All right, thanks for coming here. And just kidding.
You're so funny.
But yeah, the show is called Just 2 Minutes, and I have just 2
Random
minutes of
questions.
random weird questions.
I love that. That's fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about real estate.
All right, let's talk about real estate.
How does real estate fall into Heart of Rhode Island or even networking?
You know what? I love that question because that's how I met you. Real estate falls into Heart of Rhode Island because realtors come to get connected into the community so that they can build their brand.
Yeah. And so Heart of Rhode Island, when did you start that? How did that idea come about? And, just...
Great question. So February of 2022. I had left the chamber in December, so I had started a new job in January. So February 2022, there was no insight. They were not hiring for the position that I had left.
Where were you before?
So I was in charge of all of the membership at the Greater Providence Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, okay.
And when I left there, they didn't hire anybody in my role for a whole year. And I ran a really good networking event there. Unfortunately, it was during COVID. So a lot of it was online, but I would get 100 people online and I'd put them into breakout rooms. I would run a really
that's amazing.
fun networking event. So when I left, people started coming for me in February. They're like, hey, Deb, would you start a networking event? Would love to have you run such a great one. So the last place that I had an in-person networking event was at Plant City. So I went back to Kim Anderson and asked her if there was any chance that she would partner with me. I had no idea what was even going to be coming down the pike, but I piloted a very small group at Insperity where I was working at the time in my conference room with my friend Natalie, who worked with me. Natalie had just had surgery, so she's online and I am in the office. It was actually kind of a crazy first day, but we had 12 people and it was really fun. And from those 12 people, we now went to Plant City the following month, and that event grew from 25 to 50 to 75 to 100. And I stayed at Plant City for 3 years. And when I left there, Natalie had taken a different role within Insperity, so she was kind of overseeing national. So I brought Charisse in as my partner for about a year and a half, but then Charisse went through Goldman Sachs and needed to grow her business. So it was like perfect. Everything was perfectly timed because we were leaving Plant City. We knew we were leaving Plant City in March of last year. So April, we moved to CIC, where I get to see you every month. And when Charisse told me that she needed to concentrate on the business, I brought on a committee because at that point, now I run a PACT committee. I run a development committee. Committees just seem to be my thing.
Yeah.
So I built the committee from scratch. It has about 14 people. And it was probably the best move that has ever happened to Heart of Rhode Island because now you get all these ideas that come in. And some of them are great. Some of them we all agree are not great, but we just work together and make the meetings, the experience so fun every month.
Wow, that's awesome. So when was that started? Or when was the first meeting?
March of 2022 was in the Insperity office. In April of 2022, we moved to Plant City.
Plant City, and it grew and grew. And I remember there was just so many people in there and you couldn't even fit more. People like really jammed
I know.
together.
As of today, I think we have like 2,200 in the database for Heart of Rhode Island.
Wow.
I know, it's amazing.
Okay.
So those people have at least come and checked us out or have heard of us and wanted to get on the mailing list. So
Yeah.
it's just grown and grown. It's so fun. It's my favorite morning of the month.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. It is awesome being there and seeing all that. So you liked connecting people. You liked doing that. And that's kind of like how it evolved into what it is.
Yeah, my sister actually loves to tell the story. When I was 4 years old, our house abutted Star Market in Norwood, Mass. And so we used to hop the fence, go and do grocery shopping from our mom and pull the groceries right up to the fence and pop it over into our yard. And she's like, I can remember you bringing you to Star Market when you were little, and you would be like, come meet my friend in aisle 5. And she'd be chasing me around the store. And I'd bring her to aisle 5, and then I'd go to aisle 6 and meet somebody else. Come meet my friend in aisle 6. So I had friends throughout the store at that early age. So I've always been like interested in people, and I loved to know, what makes somebody tick or what they do, how many kids they have. Like I always just ask those curious questions.
What does make people tick? What do you think that is?
Oh gosh, it just depends on the person, right?
Yeah.
Some people get motivated by being with people. Some people like to be by themselves reading a book. Some people like to be traveling across the world, where other people like going fine dining. So I think it's just individual preference.
Yeah. I mean, you have to interact with other people. In sales, in any business, you need customers and you need to be talking to them and seeing them and getting more customers.
Absolutely.
So a realtor going to networking events or any other business, it's really crucial to be able to do that.
It is. And it's really a two-part. Like I always say to people, if you're going networking and you're just getting yourself into a room and leaving there, you really missed the boat. If you are not taking business cards or at least connecting with 5 people that you're going to go and have a coffee with, come on their podcast or, make a connection with, you've missed the boat in your whole networking experience. You need to deepen the relationship because you never know where one is going to lead.
You're really famous right now.
You think?
Aside from like the mayor and stuff,
I like that. If you had ever told me I was going to be famous, that's funny.
Yeah, I feel like you're gonna get there. Like, 'cause I think a lot of business owners know you. They've heard of you. People have talked about Heart of Rhode Island. So with that much responsibility, how do you feel about that?
You know what? I actually feel it makes me smile. Like even when my boss, my CEO at Women's Fund of Rhode Island will go to an event and they're like, oh my gosh, Deb Honor works for you. And I'm like, that just makes me laugh because I don't see myself like that. I'm just the next person like you where I just want to connect you to somebody. I want you to I want your business to shine as much as I want my business to shine. And I feel like there's enough room for everybody in the state of Rhode Island if we all just lift each other up.
Yeah, yeah, it's really cool. I remember like when I was a little boy, not really a little boy, but when I first started networking, I had no idea what I was doing. I'd go to a networking event, I had a stack of business cards, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pass out all these business cards to everybody here. So I'd be like, hi, how are you? I'm Kamil. And thinking back at that now, I'm so cringy. Like I was one of those people.
And it's fun to watch those people in the room still. Like that's why I always try to set the tone at Heart of Rhode Island that the do's and don'ts, you're not coming here to sell yourself.
Yeah.
You're coming here to see what you can do for the next person, because once you do that, it comes back to you in abundance.
Yeah.
And the more that I learned that, have you ever read the book, The Go-Giver?
No.
I usually gift it a lot. I wish I had brought you one today.
Oh.
But it is my favorite book, and somebody gave it to me at a Heart of Rhode Island 2 years ago. Her name was Deb Parent. And the following month, it was the night before the following Heart of Rhode Island, and I saw the book on my counter and went, oh my gosh, I didn't even open the book. I better open this book because she's going to have a heart attack that I didn't start it. Well, I opened the book and I couldn't put it down. This is 9:00 at night. I read that book until 3 a.m. and had to get up for Heart of Rhode Island at 6. It was one of the best books that I have ever read in my life.
Wow.
It's gift worthy. I made Xander read it, my son, who was one of the sponsors today. It is.
That was your son?
Yes, that was my son. It's such a great book. And it really teaches you about giving. The more you give, the more you get. And people say that to you, but until you actually see it firsthand, like I feel like the more I just give all the time because that's just my makeup. I would rather if you came to me and said, hey, Deb, I'm dying to meet this person. Can you make a connection?
Yeah.
My LinkedIn blows up like that all day long. People are constantly asking for connections, and I get to as many of them as I can. I probably still have like 20 sitting waiting for me to connect them, but it's a really fun gift to have because the more you give, the more you get.
Yeah. And it's interesting because that's where I've evolved to be. I like people, and I just transitioned from passing the business cards and, like, what's going on? What am I doing wrong? To like, I like meeting people and hanging out and learning more about how people do things, and, but coming across as like, oh, you want to buy a house, someone who's like, you can feel that energy is like, and you kind of get like hurt. Like, I thought you wanted to be my friend.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know. I totally get that.
So if you were a realtor, what's a secret formula? Like, how should they behave at networking events when they go into a networking event? Not like when I was a little boy, passing around my cards to everybody. What is like the secret? If you were to create like a process, what would that look like?
So I would say for realtors out there, you should be listening. Listen to every single conversation that you have, because one thing is going to lead you to the next thing. So the person might not be selling their home, or they might not even know somebody selling their home. But if you build the relationship first, you're going to be the first person that I'm going to think of, right? When if I'm selling my home or I know somebody, I'll be like, you need to meet my friend Kamil. So listen to what they're saying, because you might uncover something in that conversation that you're like, oh my goodness, they know so-and-so, or they work with commercial businesses that might be real estate. Like anything in that business, listen first, because you never know what one conversation is going to uncover.
Yeah, that's good advice. I feel like, going to these events and learning more about people, sometimes the person you're meeting with or talking to or getting to know, they know 10 realtors, and, you're probably like one on the 11th in row. So like how can they rise up to be the top 3 for those people?
Yeah.
It's difficult.
I think what's going to make you stand out is your how great are you at relationship building? Coming in hot, as you just like, here's my card, this is what I do, I'm selling this. I'm going to be the first one to tell you you're tuned out by being like that immediately. I probably haven't heard past the words, here's my business card. Where more importantly, if we're building a relationship and then I uncover what you do, it makes it so much more fun. Like, ask the important questions. Like you asked me in the beginning, what's your favorite foods? Like, find things out about them. I'll never forget, I had this woman shadowing me last year from Mongolia. And when Kelly first came to me and said, I'd like her to follow you, I'm thinking, I don't even know what I'm doing, even though I've been in this business forever, right? I'm like, what is she going to learn from me? Well, at one of my meetings, she said, you never, ever ask them to be a sponsor, or you never ask them for money. Why? You're not transactional. In Mongolia, we don't ask those questions of how many children do you have? Do you have a dog? Do you have a pet? She goes, that we go straight to the business. And I said, you're missing the boat.
Interesting.
And she went back and tried it. When she got back to Mongolia, and I got this beautiful email, she's like, oh my gosh, Deb, it really does work. I came back and started asking different questions, and now I'm getting all this money. And I'm like, you need to be a good relationship builder, because people, they say this, that saying, what is it? People do business with people that they like, know, and trust. You've heard that saying forever.
Oh, yeah.
It's really the truth. Like, I don't want to do business with you until I know you. I don't even, I want to get to know you before I'm going to ask you for a sponsorship at Women's Fund or to come to an event. I want to make sure that you want to be part of us too, right? It's a two-way street of the relationship, and building it from scratch and really concentrating on the relationship first is going to bring you so far with whatever industry you're in, really.
Yeah. Because there's so many times where you meet someone and you're like, okay, they're cool. Like, I could see doing business with them. And then you watch them from afar, because that's how we're kind of like defensive mechanism. And then you're like, whoa, they're involved with this and this. And it's like, oh, good thing I didn't, like everybody goes through that. And kind of like, I mean, I'm just, talking about drastic examples, but it does happen. Like you want to trust people, but you kind of like test them to make sure that this is the actual person.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you.
Yeah. So in those events, I feel like it's like from 9 to 5 or 9 to 7, people are networking and connecting business and business. How does that turn into friendship? Like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? The family and I are going to this, or, we're a couple of people are going to this. Like, when does that, I mean, it's rare to happen, but.
Yeah, I feel like it's happened so much over Heart of Rhode Island. I feel like I could call anybody in that room and be like, oh my gosh, I have tickets to this event. Does anybody want to go?
Yeah.
I feel like the more that you're around these people, or even inviting them into those other spaces. So Heart of Rhode Island is just one of many numerous networking events in the state of Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Invite them to the next place. And then pretty soon you're going networking. And then you're like, oh my gosh, PB Bruins has a game Friday night. Would you like to go? And then it starts to form into the friendship.
Yeah.
Which is so fun. Like, I can't even tell you how many friendships have come out of that room that I would really say are a tight-knit circle of friendships, which I'm so grateful for. So grateful.
Yeah. And finding the right personality to develop that friendship with.
Yes.
It's kind of like, it's tough.
Yeah, but it's interesting, like, the more you uncover in your conversations, you're like, oh my gosh, you like hockey? I didn't know you liked hockey. Let's go to a hockey game. Like, it's kind of fun figuring out what makes, as we go back to, what makes people tick and what excites people, and what they do outside of work. A lot of people never uncover that question in their conversations, where that's one of the first things I want to know. Do we have synergy that, oh my gosh, you love The Notebook. Let's watch The Notebook. I'll grab the popcorn. Or you have a dog. I don't have a dog, but say that I did have a dog. But we can go on the dog walking path. I'm like, things that they uncover in that room is what, or Liz, I'll use Liz McDonough as a perfect example. She used to take all of her meetings on walks. And pretty soon she had like walking groups. And I loved that stemmed from just Heart of Rhode Island, finding out what people liked to do.
That's awesome.
So it is. Wow. It's fun uncovering what people love.
Yeah. Like, as far as your popularity, do you think you would go into...
It makes me laugh. Popularity. I was never the popular girl, so that makes me laugh.
Are you like on the edge of getting into politics?
No. I'm on the edge of starting a new business. Yes, and it has to do with networking. Yes, so stay tuned. My sister and I are launching a business. It's called Connect Ease. You're the first person I'm talking to about this because we were just accepted into Social Enterprise Greenhouse. We are in the new cohort. Tomorrow night we go to meet the cohort, and Tuesday we start our classes. But it will be a platform where all networking events will live, and there will be an educational component in the platform. I think that what stemmed that was one of the companies I worked at gave me Vermont as a territory.
Yeah.
I knew nobody there. And I didn't even know where to find networking events to find people. Like I was in every chamber spot and meetup, and you just couldn't find it in an easy spot. So we're trying to create a very easy spot where networking events will live, and you will be able to get in there as a freemium person, put your profile. What are you looking for? Maybe you're looking for rooms that have 150 people. Maybe you're looking for rooms that have 10 to start. Maybe you're a rising senior in college and you need educational, maybe you've never networked in your life and you're in your 50s. So there'll be something for everybody on this
really cool
platform. I'm so excited about it. Here we are on television, and I haven't even told a soul besides my sister, my CEO, and a few close friends know about it.
Is it okay to release this?
Yes, this is fine. Yeah, that's it. Well, now that we're accepted into the program, our
so
logo
cool.
is Mark DuPont from Heart of Rhode Island with Mirage Design is doing our logo. So it's kind of fun. Like all those connections within the room, I'm bringing them in to make this amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, good working. You saw the co-working space, so that's a spot if anybody needs it.
Oh my gosh, the co-working space, I can't wait to post some pictures of it today. It's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Especially this area. Like I was telling you, it's right off the highway. You can get here easily.
Yeah. There used to be like once a month, huge networking event. And then the organizer stopped doing, evening networking events. There was like 100, 150 people. Do you think have you thought about doing evening networking?
We have thought about doing an evening networking. We just haven't brought it to life yet. Great question, because Totoria Appia, I don't know if you know Dr. Jamie Cardy, he's the owner. He has had me in a few times for dinner to come and experience which is awesome, by the way. But he would love to host a Heart of Rhode Island evening event and offer like Italian cuisine. And so we're looking at doing one maybe in September, but it is not out of the question to do an evening one. It's just a matter of getting it off the ground. And, the morning one is sold out, as you know, every month. We're sponsored almost through 2027. So it would be a matter of getting sponsorships for the evening and having some light bites so that if you have food, people come. I've learned that. Even building my committees at work, I always have lunch. And people always want to join my committees. I had a girl yesterday say, "Hey, Deb, I joined your development committee because I loved your LinkedIn and you were so fun." And I'm like, I hope you like the mission. I hope you're here for the mission. I had a good laugh, but I was like, that is so funny. What brings people into an event? Always feed them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, your event has coffee, pastries, and all the really good stuff. I had a wafer today.
I had an egg. I was so excited about the hard-boiled eggs. And I was like, this was so great. That was the first time she brought that.
Little waffle thing I had was good.
Yeah, I'm super excited that we're keeping her, by the way. We've tried a bunch for the past year. It's so hard to find different ones every month. So I said to the committee, I would love to just find one that we all love and treasure. And Maria Torres has been amazing. Yeah. So All Seasons Catering is coming on board for Heart of Rhode Island moving forward.
Very cool.
She's great.
Which brings me to my next thing.
Yeah.
You are very, very good and smart because you're one person, but you're very good at partnerships and picking the right people and the right skills to grow.
And I never saw myself as that, which is funny, until I got to Women's Fund. And I realized, like, being in an advocacy organization, when you said, do you want to be mayor? Nope, I'm not. I don't see myself as being out in the State House and lobbying. Like, that is not me. And I appreciate all the people that do that. For me, I like to be on the raising money side and bringing in the money to do all the work that we do. But being in an organization has taught me so much. Like, you really do have to have the right people in play to bring it to the next level. And I've been so careful at bringing in my committee, like, who is excited and who, like the woman yesterday made me laugh, but she's there for a reason, right? She's there for the fun factor, but she brings so much to the table. She didn't even realize that. So finding those people that really align, A, with the mission, but B, want to help advance things and move it forward has been really fun to uncover. And I love that part so much, I can't even tell you. I love, like, talking to people and being like, I think you should be on the committee. I think that you should join. And you uncover that quickly when you start to, like Aaron Bishop, I'll use him as an example. When I went through Leadership Rhode Island, I've only known Aaron for maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And when I was getting into Leadership Rhode Island, he had a coffee with me. And he said, if I give you any advice, have a coffee with every single person in your class, which was 74 that year.
Wow, okay.
And I was like, that was the best advice that he ever gave. I did it, had coffee with all 74 of the classmates. And it did two things, right? It really got me to deepen my relationship, but it also got me to know my class really well. And guess who they picked for the class speaker? And if you had told me that was going to happen, I would have had a heart attack. I don't love to public speak. I would rather have a conversation like this. But it was it was excellent advice. But why I chose Aaron on the committee, Aaron is equally as connected out in the community. He loves to network. He is so valuable, even though he can never get there by 8 o'clock in the morning. He has children that he gets off to school, but I value him so much and I love what he brings to the table. And every time we get on calls, he always has incredible feedback and advice to give. So
yeah, I mean, I noticed that of you because I'm the same way. Like I'm the broker and kind of like have to create this big brokerage and we're independent. So trying to be famous and, so yeah, like identifying and finding out these people, like who these people are. I think aside from like the skill and, knowing that they'll be good at something that is important, I would say is the fire.
The fire, the excitement, everything underneath it. Like, I am so excited for March 25th, our 4th birthday. I can't even tell you. There are so many tricks up the sleeve and like having all the right things in play for that has been so exciting. We have a couple of calls before it and like just watching their fire is as exciting as mine. I had a woman come up at the end today. She said, "You're in the right place." And I said, I feel that. She goes, "No, when you get up and you talk about what happens in that room, you light up like, I don't even know how to say it." She goes, "You just get so excited." I'm like, because I love that room and the community that it has created and what has happened. Like listening to those heart stories every month, listening to Jeremiah today, got a job in the room. I did not even uncover that till I had a coffee with him. Like hearing those stories is really what gives me fire.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. Any other like how do you find the right people to join your cause?
You have to, when you're having your meetings, definitely set up those one-on-ones, right? To go out and have coffee. But when you're having your meetings, uncovering your conversations, if you're trying to build it for your real estate agent, you're going to uncover the questions like, what is it that ignites you? And if it's not aligning with what you want here in your office, you know right away they're not the right person to bring on your team.
Yeah.
But if you have a lot of things that align in your conversation, then you're like, oh my gosh, I could see you working here. Like we align on many of the same things. I think that you should come on board onto my team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just you have to have those conversations and you really do have to deepen the relationship because I feel like if you don't, that's why I always say at Heart of Rhode Island, I'm like, when this room's great, but if you don't do your job that's next, get out and meet, even if it's between now and the next Heart of Rhode Island, have 3 coffees, put them on your calendar once a week and get out there and really deepen a relationship and be like, I know something about this person that I didn't know last month.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually set up a coffee with someone today. He was saying like how he's trying to organize this event and, I have experience with that. I don't know if you know, I run rinetworking.com.
I did not know this.
So if you search like events going on in Rhode Island, that comes up and it shows like your event, all the other events that are going on.
How did I not know this? You've never told
I'm
me that.
revealing it now. Nobody else knew it.
Do you know what? We have never had a coffee. My bad. So before we leave today, we're going to have a date on our calendar
All right.
for a coffee.
Yeah.
That's insane that I did not know that. And now you all know it too. That's the best part of this interview today. I'm like, okay, I'm getting a coffee with my good friend over here.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that's awesome. So, I mean, you've helped so many people with Heart of Rhode Island and it seems like, I mean, I could tell by when I met you and all these going to these events that you're really passionate about it and passionate about connecting people together. So I want to say thank you for doing that.
Thank you so much. You know what? It's what do they call that? Your superpower. It's definitely my superpower. I just love being able to say, oh my gosh, like when my friend Jason Alexander drove down from New Hampshire today and he's like, oh, I'm looking for these, I'm looking for this. And as people were coming in the room, I was like, oh, I need you to come over here. I'm like, this is what you were looking for. Like, if you put those things in your head and you're trying to really help somebody,
Yeah.
it makes it so much better. When you're helping somebody else, it just makes the networking event so much easier.
So lesson for today, help people and don't look for anything back.
Right.
Just genuinely want to help people, and then you'll grow.
You'll grow. And read The Go-Giver, because it will
Go-Giver.
teach you to do that.
You know?
Yes. Bob Berg should give me credit. He's the author of The Go-Giver. He should. I friended him on LinkedIn after I read it and wrote this amazing post about him. I think I'm his best friend now. He lives in Florida. It was such a good book.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get it. So last thing I want to talk about is we talked about, like finding strategic partners. And then earlier we talked about how to like kind of after knowing someone, you're like, oh, wait, I don't want to associate with them. I'm sure you've run into this a lot. How can you accelerate that? And
Weed them out right away?
Yeah.
That's a great question. I usually can find out right away, just in those first few questions that you're asking, to uncover, is this person going to be mutually beneficial in any way? Whether, like I always say to people, when you're going into those rooms, you're coming out with probably one of three things. You're coming out with a referral partner, you're coming out with a really good friend, or you're coming out with someone that you can really do business with. Like you're going to be able to do business together. And if you uncover that in the first 30 seconds that 1, 2, and 3 are not going to happen, exit the building immediately. I think you can uncover it pretty quick with some of the questions that you'll ask. Like, what do you do for work? You're a music teacher, which I was in the beginning of my career. And so-and-so is climbing buildings and putting, I don't know, doing some kind of, we're probably not having a lot of synergy, right?
Yeah.
But you can tell even like, do you have children? No. Like if it's a hard no, I don't really like kids. Or probably, I have 4. So like you can tell right away. That's the questions that you want to know. Are they going to be a friend? Are they probably going to be a referral partner? Are we going to do business together? Friends, I like friends first.
Yeah.
Because when you're friends, it's so much easier to be like, oh, I have something for you. So-and-so called me looking for this. And then you're referring them anyways, and it's just because that you're friends, right?
Yeah.
And then it just becomes so fun to be able to pass business when you didn't even expect you were going to do that.
Yeah, I feel like also like when someone shows weakness, I mean, even though like weakness is bad, but it's kind of like, wow, they're really showing me their true self. Because
yes,
I call it their representative. Because you meet someone, you meet their representative. Hello, I'm Kamil Sarji. Blah, 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 blah. And then you break it down and you're like, oh my gosh, Kamil's a goofy, silly guy. I didn't know about him.
Yes. But then you were uncovering. You have to like keep going, like uncover the layers to see, oh my gosh, is there something here that there's going to be some mutual synergy, or is it a dead stop? And if I can tell really quickly if it's going to be a dead stop. I recently met a gentleman in a room, and it was such a turnoff at our table. Just his manner, his handing out his cards right away. Like you could tell he was there to make sales right off the bat.
Yeah.
I was not uncovering. Like that was a hard, like I think you'll know your limits. Like what are you going to accept when you get into those rooms or what you're not? And I'm like, just the mannerism, everything at the table. And it was just an event last week even. And I left that event and thought, definitely not.
Yeah.
Not uncovering that. I don't want a coffee. So I think that you'll know right away if you're going to peel down to the next layer and try to uncover something that you mutually you'll uncover together and go, oh my gosh, I love that you love coffee, or that you love Pure Life water. Like I drink water all day long. We have something in common. There usually is something, but there will be hard stops when you're going to be like,
yeah. And sometimes I think people, they don't notice this, but they give you a little glimpse of their true self.
right.
Like, oh, this event, I'm not going to waste my time. Why? I'm not going to waste my time going to that event. And you're like, whoa, who was that? Are you the same person I just met? You know what I mean?
I had a sponsor, you'll love this one. I had a sponsor bring a guest who will remain nameless to an event last year. And the guest came in the room. Now, this room had 280 people, circled the room, came back to the sponsor and said these words out loud: "There's not a soul in this room that I need to meet. I'm leaving." That was my reaction. Left the event, my event, and to this day, the sponsor and I still giggle about it, but I was like, who would do that?
That's so bad.
So bad.
But not only to you, but 200 people saw the true person.
When you say you, like true colors come out, true
Yeah.
colors come out, circled the room, came back to the sponsor and said, there's not a soul in this room that I need to meet. I'm leaving.
Wow.
And left the event. Remember, the sponsor only gets 6 tickets. They paid $2,500 to sponsor for 6 tickets, and this was one of them.
Wow.
But like, I feel like those people are so short-sighted. I could get into a room with 250 people and might even know 230 of them, and there might only be 20 that I don't know.
Yeah.
Those 20 people are equally as important to these 230. These 230 are really important because I know them and I want to deepen the relationship. These 20, I want to get to know you and see how I can bring you over here to this side and introduce you.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was so crazy. I remember leaving when the sponsor called me. I was upset about it, first of all. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, wow, she did herself such a disservice not staying and getting to know who else was in that room.
Wow.
Or deepening a relationship.
Yeah, because these people now, they're like, where is that person?
Right.
They're not here. Where they left. Where'd they go?
Why'd they leave?
Yeah, why'd they leave?
I thought you'd love that one. So don't ever, do's and don'ts of networking, don't do that. Because I can tell you right now, the sponsor is never bringing that person back as their guest.
Yeah, and that person obviously is there for themselves. They're not there to help people.
They're not there to help people.
Yeah.
You need to
Which
give.
is the secret sauce.
It's the secret sauce. The more you give, the more you get. I think I learned that at like age 5. And the other lesson that I'm laughing at myself, and I can tell you all on TV, my dad taught me this lesson at an early age. If you are on time, you're late. And if you're late, you're in trouble. And today, I somehow ended up in North Providence instead of North Smithfield for this interview. And when I tell you I was sweating the whole way here because I am not late. Ever. You can ask any person. Heart of Rhode Island starts at 8. I'm in that building between 7:15 and 7:30. I left my house at 6:30 this morning. I do not like to be late. So those are 2 important lessons. 2 important lessons.
Well, no
today.
judgments here.
Oh my gosh.
get it.
But if you're on time, you're late.
Anything else you want to bring up? Or how do people find you? How do people find this event?
You can find Heart of Rhode Island on Eventbrite. You can find me on LinkedIn, Deborah Honor, Honor, or you can email me at dhonor, all one word, DHONOR, at WFRI.org.
Awesome. Thank you very much for stopping by.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so great.
We just got a squad, we all in the zone. In-house help, so they ain't doing it alone. They focus on clients, negotiating win, while the back end's handle, man, that's how we spin. I hand them business, watch them all climb.